Hey again, guys. Do you know what I like to do when I start to get excited for the National? I like to look at some baseball cards. Hey, I haven't made a lot of videos lately. Haven't made one in a while. I haven't been buying anything, so I haven't been getting any mail days or anything. But I am getting excited for the National. And it got me reminiscing a little bit about last year's National and some of the cards I got and some of the cards I missed out on that I picked up shortly after, which just reminded me I'm missing one. I forgot to gather one, so I have to grab that. Sorry about that. So, yeah. So when I went to the National last time, and it was my first National, and it was just a wonderful experience. And if you weren't a subscriber at the time, I got a flat tire about 35 miles out of Atlantic City, and I was stranded, essentially at a crack house that was posing as a tire shop. And I'm stranded there in the middle of the parking lot. And, I'm calling my insurance company. I have to get towed, but I have all my stuff in my car and brought all kind of extra stuff, cards, too many clothes. And I'm there, and it's going to get dark soon. I don't know where I'm at, and I'm waiting on a tow truck, and they're gonna take my car, to a tire shop I don't know about. And there's these cars, and they're pulling in like 5 minutes at a time. I mean, these people were very nice to me, but I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what what I'm in for. And I'm texting with Don and Lou Rock and James, and they don't want to come get me. They just got there. And with traffic and everything, I'm probably 45 minutes away, and I'm begging them to come and get me, and so that I don't have to stand there with all my stuff, because I didn't want to let my stuff go with my car, because I don't even know where it's going. So they finally came, I think reluctantly. Don had driven, so he and James got in his SUV and came and sat with me for about 4 hours waiting on this tow truck. Every time I would call, they would say they were 20 minutes out. And 2 hours later, I'd call and they'd say they were 20 minutes out. And then the last time I called, they're like, they're 20 minutes out. And I'm like, I turned around and they were pulling in. So that was their standard, their standard answer, I guess. I was 20 minutes out. But I had a wonderful experience staying with the Misfits and an Airbnb. That will be a time that I always, always remember. And when I went to the actual show, the first card I saw was an SGC graded version of this card. And it was one of the cards that I wanted to get ahead of time. That was one of the cards I was targeting. And I don't know, the guy just wanted a lot of money for it. It was the first card I looked at. I didn't want to buy a big card the first day, the first minute, the first card I looked at. And it just was too high for me. I didn't want to pay that much. And later in the year, I picked this up. This is what they call skinned, which is usually they were in a photo album, and some of the back, layer came off. I got this from a respected collector from Net 54, but it's Big Dave Orr. And he was a good ball player, and I just really, really wanted this card. And I got it for a fraction of the one at the National. I picked up, and what I'm going to do now is I'm showing you some of the pickups that I remember getting, and some of the ones that I missed out on, like this one, that I got afterwards. Another one was this Triss speaker. And it's funny, this Colgan's chip. And it's funny because, it got turned in the holder. And I was joking with the guy that I would give him his asking price as long as he could turn this around straight up. And it was funny because he took me seriously and he started to mess with it, trying to turn it around. And I'm like, I'm just kidding. But this Triss speaker in the Colgan set, and if you watch my channel, you know I love this set. Really, there are two tough chips in this set, two tough players. And I'm probably missing some, but two really tough ones that I've noticed, and I'll come across a lot. One is the Triss speaker, and the other is the Three Finger Brown. I take that back. The Iron Joe McGinnity. Iron Joe McGinnity. I just love this set, though. I really want the McGinnity. Maybe I'll find it this year. Rick, my man, Vintage Oddball Cards, and that's who I'm rooming with this year. He found us these awesome things. And these are original envelopes from the Sporting Life set in 1910. And we had to grab them. There were two, so we each got one. Because he found this one, and we asked him, do you have any more? And he had one other one back there. And so I got this Connie Mack from the set to go with it. And these were given away in Sporting Life newspapers. I guess it was similar to the Sporting News. And Rick picked me this up as a gift, and this is how he commenced. And these are known as Colgan Chips Proofs, but I'm not so sure that's what they are. It's kind of a mystery because they're not the right size. So I don't know how they ever became known as proofs, but I believe there's something else. And I picked this Bill Mazeroski 1959 bazooka. Oh, man, the price on this thing, I couldn't pass it up. I got this for a steal. And I was eyeballing a really nice 59 bazooka Hank Aaron. And again, it was very pricey. The guy would not budge on the price. And so I think it was a few months later, I finally found one that I got for a fraction of the price. And it's a beautiful example. And I picked up this Cons Hank Aaron. And I had never seen one before. Now, Cons started with the Pirates and the Reds back in 1955, I believe was the first year. Around there. I believe it was 55. And then they added some other teams in later years. So they added the Braves in the 60s, I think the mid-60s. And they finished the set, I believe, in 1970. And it's kind of unknown, the exact year, but it only had one player, Carl Yastrzemski. And it's funny that they don't know the exact year of those, because you would think some old-time collector knew what year he got those out of hot dogs, but that was the only one. So the last year only features a Carl Yastrzemski. And it's kind of a unique-looking card. And also, after the National, I picked up this fantastic sepia postcard of Eddie Plank. A few months later, and I got this great Pacific Coast biscuit, Buck Weaver. And both of these are like single-digit pops. Very rare cards and beautiful. So, I was texting with my man Derek over at Hardball Crazy today, and he's like, I was asking him if he was going to the National, and he is, and it's his first one. And he was like, do you have any points or tips since you've been to one? And I'm like, well, there's like 100 videos on YouTube. Like everybody and their brother wants to give you tips. So I'll point you in that direction. But I was telling him, there's the obvious, like, wear comfortable shoes because you're going to walk a lot. But I can honestly say, as far as tips and tricks, from what I learned, it wasn't any different than any other show I've ever been to, except 100 times better, 100 times bigger. And, the get-togethers were awesome. But as far as the card show, I would use the same strategy that I would use at any card show, and that is don't blow all my money in the first 5 minutes, because there's lots and lots to see. And make sure you get around and don't blow all your money, and then you're going to miss out on something special. Now, when I go, I don't have a specific want list. I'm kind of a free safety at this point in my collecting. I have such an enormous collection and extensive collection that I try to find these kinds of, cards that are more rare, harder to find. Things like this. I want to have free money if I get an opportunity to buy something like that. So I'm not going in there with any particular strategy. If I find something fantastic for the right price, I will buy it. I may not buy anything. I may only buy a few $10 or $20 cards because I collect it all, and I really don't know yet. Am I taking a specific budget? No, I'm not. If there's something, that always kind of goes out the window too. Like I'll be like, I'm only going to spend $500, and then you see some gem for $750 or something, and what are you doing? It's like when you're at the casino and I'm only going to gamble $500, and when you lose that, where are you next? You're back at the ATM. Well, I'll put another $250 in, whatever. Try to get my money back. So, am I disciplined at the National or a card show? No, I'm not. Am I disciplined when I go to a flea market or something? No. I see something that, man, I got to have that. Boom, I'm at the ATM. Or sending it on PayPal or whatever. So those are my phenomenal words of wisdom on tips and tricks, how to prepare for the National, how to approach it. But there are plenty of videos out there, which I just had to laugh. One day I went on there, I saw 18 videos on tips and tricks for the National. Like, it's not that complicated, people. Like, I think people just make content to make content, or to hear themselves talk sometimes. But anyway, if it's your first time, I'm sure you're excited. Maybe you do need those tips. Maybe I shouldn't downplay it. But if you're wondering, it's just like any other show, guys. Just way bigger. Way more stuff to see and do. So that's what I have for you. Please, if you see me at the National and I don't get to see everybody that comments or anything, please come up and introduce yourself to me. I want to meet you. A lot of you have been commenting on my stuff for years, and last year I got to meet a lot of people down in Tampa at different shows. I got to meet some people, and that is awesome. That's why I'm going to the National. I'm going to the National to meet people, see people I know, and just mingle and bond with other collectors. That's what it's about for me. You're not going to see me walking around with some fancy camera crew videoing every second of the day. I'll probably take a little video here and there. And certainly with some of my collecting friends, but that'll probably be about it. Although everybody, I'm sure on Thursday night at the party, somebody's doing a video. So that's what I have for you. I want to thank you for watching.